The flood advances, devastating everything it encounters along its path. A solitary cabin stands firm, bravely resisting the violent storm's raging waters. A lady, completely soaked, observes the turbulent waters from the drenched balcony. She silently contemplates the landscape devastated by the utterly exhausted and soaking rain. She takes a seat upon the flooded platform, her expression filled with sorrow. The elderly woman carefully observes the rising waters all around her. The dog, soaked and quite attentive, watches the approaching storm with great seriousness. The elderly woman stares intently at the river. Clinging tightly to the handrail, she watches the floodwaters steadily rise. Non-stop, an adult and a cub cling tightly to the log to survive. The elder woman fights with determination to steer the boat through the waters. She grips the rope, trying to hold the canoe steady with the paddle in her hands. The elder woman faces the turbulent waters. The two sloths cling to each other, holding fast to the drifting log. A solitary sloth rests, utterly exhausted upon the log, adrift in the strong current. The sheer force of the water drags everything around with a truly devastating power. Alone and determined, the old woman rows her way through the furious, raging river. The two sloths embrace each other tightly in the middle of the flood. The elder woman in her canoe, she paddles onward and finds the sloths adrift. She rows with the utmost effort, while the sloths journey along with her, the three of them. Isolated and exhausted, a sloth tries to stay on a muddy log. The old woman struggles with all her might to cling to the boat. Determined, she seeks support inside the flooded boat from a nearby log. A sloth watches the old woman carefully with attention. The old woman steers the boat with two sloths aboard. The canoe makes its way through the flooded forest with the sloths safely on board. With four sloths aboard, the elderly woman steadily rows through the calm waters. 1, she navigates standing as the sloths rest peacefully in the boat. 2, a wet sloth watches the storm from the porch in silence. She rows while a giant sloth observes her every move. They are very attentive. The old woman and the sloth are standing right there, side by side, contemplating the flowing waters beneath the gentle rain. The elderly woman reaches out her hands and gently touches the sloth inside of the cabin. The elderly woman interacts with the sloths surrounding her with great kindness. She tenderly caresses the two sloths that are on her lap. The elder covers one sloth with a colorful blanket. Sitting calmly, she strokes the sloth on her lap with affection. Near the fire, the elder tends to the sloths with dedication, curiosity, and calm. The dog and the sloth look at each other by the campfire. The elder holds her fruit and offers it with patience. She feeds the sloth inside the rustic cabin. The giant sloth accepts the food offered by the elder with a clay bowl. The elder cares for the sloths with great dedication, keeping them peaceful and content. The sloths all feed together inside the cabin. One sloth enjoys eating a banana within the cabin. So comforting and cozy with such a gentle softness and a lot of love. The elderly woman carefully feeds the young baby sloth. She gently holds the little one while another sloth watches closely from the side. Inside the rustic cozy cabin, the elder lovingly tends to the baby sloths with deep affection and very gentle, tender gestures. She warmly embraces these precious little ones with such kindness and devoted care, feeling completely tranquil and utterly at peace. A sloth is resting in the cozy, tranquil cabin where the dog and the sloth coexist peacefully. The elderly woman prepares a meal while an animal dines by her side. She kindles the fire as the animal reposes serene on the ground in perfect harmony. The elderly woman and the sloth affectionately share their cozy, rustic cabin. She gently caresses the sloth by the warm, crackling fireplace with tender, loving gestures. The old woman cares for both of the sloths. Attentively, the sloths surround the old woman in the rustic, cozy cabin. The old woman walks with her staff encircled by sloths on every side. She rests while the sloths freely inhabit the cabin. Sitting serenely, the old woman is surrounded by the curious sloths. She, the dog, and the sloth coexist peacefully in the rustic cabin. The old woman and the dog watch the sloths hanging from the ropes with unhurried steps. She carries a basket inside the cabin in silence. The elder sits beside the warm fire, her gaze fixed upon the dancing flames, her hands so skilled and practiced already. She's weaving a sturdy basket right next to the brightly burning fire, comfortably seated on the earthen floor. The elder is busy working with carefully selected natural fibers, all within the quiet comfort of her humble cabin. With deep concentration and unwavering focus, she meticulously crafts her beautiful handiwork, illuminated by a gentle flickering glow of the fire. With experienced hands, the elder works with straw near the fireplace, surrounded by many baskets and various clay pots. She carefully weaves the natural fibers. With great patience, kneeling beside the rustic clay stove, the old woman prepares the food with utmost attention. She cooks fresh fish over the dancing flames of the brightly burning bonfire. With her eyes turned skyward, the old woman pauses and observes the cabin. She calmly weaves a basket while the fire burns nearby, a basket held in her arms. The old woman stops at the cabin's entrance, her eyes fixed on the flames. She watches the bonfire in deep contemplation. The elder woman arranges the dried fish throughout the hut, illuminated by the firelight. The elderly woman takes a seat beside the warm fire and finds some rest. With her quick, deft hands, she skillfully crafts with fresh green branches within the rustic cabin. As the storm slowly passes by, the flickering flames illuminate the entire cabin and every single one of its rustic old objects. Inside the cabin, with meticulous care, the elderly woman skillfully tends to the sloths suspended above the crackling fire. A sloth rests on the cabin's elevated platform. Two sloths, a mother and her baby, sleep soundly, embraced in their cozy straw nest. Completely relaxed, another sloth settles comfortably into a hammock by the warm glow of the bonfire. Three sloths are peacefully resting, all snuggled up inside a hanging basket. A mother and her baby sloth are comfortably resting together on the colorful blanket. With calm, the elder inspects the basket, carefully suspended beside the bonfire. With gentle gestures, she carefully places the baby sloth into the basket. The cabin, built right over the water, glows with the golden light of the setting sun. Seated on the veranda, the old woman gazes at the tranquil river as evening falls. The dog rests peacefully in the warm glow of the sunset. With the doors wide open, a tranquil sloth is peacefully resting in a basket in the very center of the cabin.